This is Chase's very last session with me. I pushed him to do two things that I had never asked him to do before. The first was to go into the small pen and bring a set of cattle out so that we could work the group together. He's not going to be expected to work in small areas at home, at least not at first. And we already know he's not as comfortable in a smaller area. So I had not pushed this with him, and I figured he would quit me early on, which is the reason why I didn't push it. So I just called him in with me because I'm going to try to help him get these cows out of the corner. But you see how he leaves the pressure there? So I need him to go towards the heels, and he's just trying to work opposite of me because there's less pressure on that side. So I walk him in, put him in on the heels, and he really just darts out. And that's kind of what I expected him to do, especially if I had tried to do this early on with him. So I just call him in with me, and I make the cattle move, and then I send him through. And then I just work him around in the pen, and he's more comfortable on the away, so I send him away. Let him just kind of work them around. Once they're moving, he's a lot better at it. He does try to leave. He's like, this is a lot of pressure. So just call him in and get him back to work. Don't make a big deal out of it. So as long as they're moving, he's pretty comfortable with that, and I could send him around on the come-by direction. So that's just his little spin that he does. Funny thing about this is that's almost the exact picture that he had when he was presented with the cattle at first, but now that he knows he can move them, he was much more comfortable about going in the corner. So just going in there with him and helping him showed him that he could have some success, and it's going to be set up exactly the same right here. And he stays in that little pocket, and I tell him push, 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 and even though he didn't bite or anything, he didn't need to, he kept him moving. So just lots of praise whenever he's doing right, putting a little pressure on him when he needs it, and then making sure that those cattle are going to move for him so I could step in and help him whenever I need to. And then just going to get all my cattle together here, and I just wanted to see how he would do working off the four-wheeler. So put him in a down and leave him there and go get on the four-wheeler. Circle around, kind of get close to him and just see what his reaction is. So he wants to be with me, so I called him, called him to come with me because I'm not going to send him from way back here just yet. And he's looking for where he can get in that four-wheeler, and there's just no space for Mr. Chase in there. Just kind of get him out of my pressure. And then I try to send him away. And he doesn't understand. Sometimes that happens if dogs have not been used to working with a human on horseback or on the four-wheeler. Sometimes they don't understand that they can still take the command. So just pressure him and send him away. Once he goes, I get back on the four-wheeler, and then he starts to key in on me again and wants to get behind me to follow. So I get off, pressure him again, tell him away, get back on, and get back to what we were doing. And this time I'm able to just tell him away, put a little bit of pressure on him, and he goes. And I didn't have to get off at that time. So then I could just tell him there and let him balance these stock to me. So we just kind of go up and down here. And I was really impressed that this was his first time to do this with me. This is fresh coming out of that small pen. So I put a lot of pressure on him. He had to deal with a lot in that small pen that I would not have normally asked him to do. And he just kept working for me, and then we came out here and we did something brand new for him. So this was a big day for Chase. I thought he did a really good job, and I'm proud to see that in the time that he's spent with me, his confidence has grown so much that he trusts me to put him in the right position and to continue to work for me. Whereas a few months ago, I don't think he would have been as forgiving with me asking him to do all these different things. So I can get on to him a little bit about just eating poop or eating stuff out of the grass and just send him back to the stock. And then there, if he's flat, I'm going to get off the four-wheeler send him on the away. And it is a tight corner. But he still has to be correct even if I'm not on foot. So and that's the hard part. If you are horseback or you are on an ATV or something and the dog messes up, you may have to step off and fix the dog and then go back to what you were doing, which is the same as you would do on foot. If you were on foot, you would just correct what was happening, stop what you're doing, and then regroup once the dog is back on the same page as you. Proud of him here because even though he's kind of going back and forth there, he's finding it hard to get that cow out of the corner. He did finally figure it out, and he figured it out on his own without me having to go in and help him. So he's really come a long way since he's been with me, and I'm really happy with how he progressed.